Oh, what a tangled web we weave when we deal in conspiracies. It's taken me 20 minutes to stop laughing, and I'm not sure I'm going to make it through this video without losing my shit again, because this is epic levels of retarded. From TVP World, quote, "The British government safeguarding program Prevent has released a guide flagging some of the UK's most popular films, television series, and literature as possible signs of far-right extremism. Among the referenced were The Lord of the Rings, the complete works of William Shakespeare, and the war film The Dam Busters." This article is based on one written by Douglas Murray, who broke the story at The Spectre. According to Murray, Prevent's Research Information and Communications Unit, RICU, analyzed social media users they described as actively patriotic and proud. According to RICU, far-right extremists promote reading lists of texts meant to radicalize people because, as we know, the far-right are known for their literary prowess. Their reading lists apparently include, quote, Leviathan by Thomas Hobbes, John Locke's Two Treatises of Government, and Edmund Burke's Reflections on the Revolution in France, as well as works by Thomas Carlyle and Adam Smith. Elsewhere, Riku warns that radicalization could occur from books by authors including C.S. Lewis, J.R.R. Tolkien, Aldous Huxley, and Joseph Conrad. I kid you not, this is still Douglas Murray, not me, though it seems that all satire is dead, but the list of suspect books also includes 1984 by George Orwell. This is so retarded that my tardometer is going off the charts. This is the left-wing version of the right thinking that seeing a gay character will make them catch the gay. These clowns have taken books that people in general like and concluded that because some right-wing people also like the books, reading them must make you alt-right. Well, I've read most of these books. You can tell from my previous video that I'm as far from right-wing as you can get, so how do you explain my black ass? How did I read A Brave New World and not turn into an alt-right Nazi? Could it be that there's nothing about these books that would lead someone to right-wing extremism? No rational person reads 1984 and then walks away supporting nationalistic authoritarianism. You have to bring that with you, and even if you did, there's nothing in the book that supports that position. With Tolkien, literally everything about The Lord of the Rings is the polar opposite of the far-right position. The main character is a small, weak man, the last person you'd expect or want to save the world. That character type is so unusual, we even have a name for it, the least likely protagonist. The effective hero of the story is a guy the average conservative would kill with no hesitation no matter how much Magic Granddad told him to stay their hand. War is shown to be a bad thing, as is industrialization and isolationism. Underpinning the story is also the idea that had men, elves, and dwarves not hated each other, Sauron wouldn't have risen to power as quickly as he had, and likely couldn't or wouldn't have tried again. Racism and prejudice are shown to be wrong, as is the idea that any group is inherently more valuable or better than others. Hell, part of Tolkien's entire concept is that men do not become perfected until they unite, literally by blood, with elves. Every single position a far-right extremist would make gets bitch-slapped into oblivion throughout Tolkien's works and in his letters. The only author Riku listed that even kind of teases people to the right is C.S. Lewis, but even then, it leads them into religious woo, not white supremacy. How are you pulling all of this out of your ass? How loose is your ass? This loose, apparently. Quote, "Key signs that people have fallen into this abyss include watching the Kenneth Clark TV series Civilization, The Thick of It, and Great British Railway Journeys." Trains. Fucking trains. Trains are part of the alt-right pipeline. How does that even work? You gotta follow the rail line from Birmingham to London and just choo-choo your way to Hayden the Darkies? This is what happens when you have a narrative, but all the available evidence proves that narrative wrong. You just make shit up. In this case, these clowns went and found things that the right liked and just assumed that because some on the right like these books and films, they must be inherently bad. But that makes no fucking sense, so they created a new narrative that the books and films turned people to the right, or will lead them down the alt-right pipeline. I've seen this argument pop up several times in the last 2 years. There's no denying that plenty of people on the right gravitate towards certain films, books, and games, and that these are treated as acceptable works in their circles. They may even be shared as a means of group affiliation and camaraderie, but that doesn't mean that the books in and of themselves support right-wing positions. Most of what Riku flags is either politically neutral, moderate, or politically to the left. Some group latching onto a book or film doesn't cast any reflection on the work itself. The other problem with this argument is that those works aren't only beloved by the right or even mostly beloved by the right. Take a look at the list of some of the works flagged by Riku. Beowulf, The Canterbury Tales, Paradise Lost, The Bridge on River Kwai, The Great Escape, Zulu, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. These are all stories and films loved by the general public. Some of them are even required reading for English courses from grade school to college. If John Milton's Paradise Lost led people to the right, then how come every English and poetry major isn't a Bible-thumping conservative? What about Beowulf leads to someone wanting to boot all non-white people from England? What about the Canterbury Tales? Or Zulu, the film where you're meant to root for the Africans to win. If anyone thought about this for 5 seconds, they'd realize that none of this makes any sense. Murray says in his article, quote, "Prevent was meant to protect people. It evolved in time into something committed to going against almost everything about our country, including its people." Yeah, I think that when you claim that watching a show about fucking trains makes someone an extremist, you've gone too far. Murray says he wants accountability. That's not going to happen. Nobody's going to be held accountable for this. But this is a perfect example of why you don't put ideologues in charge of anything, especially not checking what's appropriate for other people. These people have an agenda, and they don't care about the truth or reason or not looking like they're fucking retarded. They just want power and control. Stop giving it to them. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.